Here at Nickerson Hall, Nathaniel Finch alongside our broadcast partner Graham Shear. And Graham, in front of us, we should have a great game. It's tournament time, and it is so much fun with these win-or-go-home games.
Yeah, I think getting started early, UIndy's going to have the advantage. They have the size. They're not going to be able to deal with Kaba Kamara inside, but they have the size everywhere else on the court, and I think UIndy has a shot here at really making a statement early in the GLVC tournament.
As you can see for the Greyhounds, it's Montgomery and Miller Jr., the guard pairing. Then you have Jesse Bingham as a guard/forward. Jacoby Robinson at the 4 position, and then Kendrick Choa starting at center for Indianapolis, and he's the one to tip off against the 7-foot center, Mohamed Kaba Kamara. He is currently standing at the timeline and starting at center, the graduate student. Then you've got the guard pairing of Julian Smith and Dylan Singleton, Caden Froby, and Alex Strauding as well. And as you can imagine, the Miners win the tip as they do so often with that 7-foot man at center.
Yeah, gives them a huge advantage, Kaba Kamara inside, and if they go to him early, if he gets some touches, he can really do some damage.
The thing for the Greyhounds, though, is they've been able to shut him down the last 2 games. More on that here in just a moment as this great defense for Indianapolis really making the offense work. It's Greyhounds ball early. The Greyhounds hold the number 1 ranking in terms of defensive points per game, and they show you why they're such a physical and intense defense.
And they tried to get it down low. Looked like Kaba Kamara was trying to post up inside. And you mentioned UIndy's defended him well. Just 2 points and 6 points in both games this season for Mohamed Kaba Kamara. And they've really played him well inside. And it starts with Kendrick Choa on the defensive end.
For the Greyhounds, 75 points per game. They can still get it done offensively. However, this opening shot goes awry from Jesse Bingham, and it's Kaba Kamara with the rebound.
I think Bingham's got to get off to a fast start. That one a little shaky there, some nerves for sure in one of his second ever GLVC tournament game.
The ball goes the other way. Now it's the Greyhounds. Look at this feed in the open tray, and it's drained by Corey Miller Jr. How about the senior starting things off on the scoreboard?
In what could be his final game ever in an Indianapolis uniform, he just looks so confident here, starting things off. He's definitely ready. They've played in numerous GLVC tournaments. First bucket to Corey Miller.
It's Kaba Kamara with the rebound, and here's Smith for triple, and he drains it. Are they going to wave this basket off, though? They did call a foul. Looks like they're going to say it's good. Tied at 3.
And they counted it there, and it's exactly right. Julian Smith there has to get hot early. He is their most dangerous player, giving them 19 a game. As we mentioned, that's top 3 in the GLVC. Really looking for him to put his imprint down on this game tonight. He's had over 20 points numerous times this season.
And a big reason why he found that open shot was the crazy rebound from Mohamed Kaba Kamara. However, for the Greyhounds, they've really found a way to limit him, especially with Kendrick Choa defensively. Here's you've got the stop and popper and the rebound by Choa. And now the wide open tray from way downtown. It's D. Montgomery.
Cannot leave him open. Montgomery's really come into his own. His numbers are up. His 3-point percentages up to 34% now on the year. The last handful of games just bullseye, dead-eye from outside, knocking them down here early in the Greyhounds. Couple threes to start things off.
Caden Froby on the inside has to kick it out to Strauding. Here in Alex Strauding's name for the first time today. He's been a menace against the Greyhounds in recent games as he tries to go to the cup, but it's another rebound by Kaba Kamara. And now another triple from Smith at the buzzer, but he misses and is fouled. So he will be sent to the line for 3.
Really bailed him out there. That was Jacoby Robinson, and he's got to know better. I mean, he just lunges into the body of Julian Smith, and you're just bailing them out there late in the shot clock as the shot clock buzzer was expiring. Go to the jump into him, lunging for the foul. Got 3 free throws coming up.
One of the top free throw shooters in the conference is Julian Smith from Fort Worth, Texas. He is just a freshman. He's shooting 84% from the stripe. He drains the first 2, so he gets his 3rd opportunity. And really what a different start he's had today than what he had previously. The Greyhounds found a way to hold him to his 2 lowest scoring totals of the season. 9 points the first time they met on January 6th and 10 points on February 17th, just a couple weeks ago. But today he already has 6.
Yeah, really making sure that he gets his touches. He's getting his own here early. Even if it has to be isolation ball, he is going to get as many shots up as he can because he thinks it's his job to keep the Miners in it.
The kick out goes to Bingham. Here's another triple. That one a little off, and the rebound goes to the Greyhounds. Montgomery takes one from downtown. It's a three-point fest for both teams. D. Montgomery.
Wow, this looks like an NBA game here early. Just triple after triple from downtown all over the place. Everybody's shooting with confidence here early. The adrenaline is pumping.
The only made shots have been from the field. It's going to continue with the Choa block. And we've got Alex Strauding slow to get up as all the chaos on the floor ensues. You see Coach Bill Walker in his third season with the team. Graduated in 1987 from Missouri S&T. He used to coach with a couple different teams in the GLVC. He was a head coach for 5 years with UIS and an assistant for 7 with UMSL.
And he doesn't agree with the call there. And honestly, I'm with him. I think D. Montgomery just lost that one out of bounds. Tried to sell the foul call when he fell to the floor, but lost it out of bounds. I think he did, and they just go Indianapolis ball.
Here's Choa inside, and there's a foul called. And rather, they're going to call a travel on Choa.
Yeah, it would have been good footwork inside, but Kaba Kamara does a pretty savvy move. He just pulls the chair out, backs his body up, and Choa, when he spins left to go baseline and go up with a right hook, he has no body there to hit against, and he just falls back, goes off balance.
A much better start for Kaba Kamara is the last couple of games that the Greyhounds have limited him. Just 4 points and 4 rebounds on average, those two. But here's a fast break on the other end. The first non-triple's a dunk by Corey Miller Jr. What a play from the Greyhounds.
What a start for Indianapolis. And Corey Miller in his what could be his last game and for sure will be his last game here at Nickerson Hall. What a game so far and a flush with authority.
And the teams realize that you can get more than just those 3 points from behind the arc. He goes in and flushes it in. Not a bad play by the Greyhounds. Here's Kaba Kamara, who does the same thing on the other end, just with a lot less effort, I'd say, being 7 foot.
Yeah, definitely. He needs less effort to slam that one down, but a good play inside, and he's really making his size notable here early.
Here's Choa, slow start, goes up for 2 over Kaba Kamara with no issues.
And I think Choa is one of the biggest parts of this offense, getting his touches down low early. You see him there. You saw him a couple times ago, led to the travel. That time, footwork was a bit better, and Kaba Kamara didn't pull his back away. Leads to the layup.
And Choa wins the battle off the glass. He's going to be fouled. Then how about his just physicality dominating Kaba Kamara the last couple matchups? He's quite a bit smaller than him. He's only 6'7". Kaba Kamara's 7 foot, but there he just out-muscles. And then on the ensuing play, the big man, Mohamed Kaba Kamara, and we see here just effortlessly lays it in.
Yeah, nice find by Froby, and on the inside, Kaba Kamara making his presence known here early. Looking for Corey Miller, though, to get off to that fast start again.
Some new faces. Here's Etherington. He can't get it to go in, and neither can Julian Steinfeld. Singleton gets the rebound. And you also see Josiah Tynes in the game for the first time. What a job he's done in these last 2 matchups, really limiting Julian Smith almost by himself. Ryan Parker pulls up from the right wing, and the rebound goes to the Miners, but they can't get either shot to fall.
Huge opportunity there, an open 3 and then an open layup, and they blew both of them. Miners cannot let possessions go wasted like that.
How big is Bingham going to be here in this stretch with 4 newcomers onto the floor? He's going to be the big offensive threat, but he is just off on the open 3. Speaking of an open triple, here's Parker from the left wing, and he gets it to fall after it bounces around. What a lucky bounce.
There's a good roll by Parker, but he pulled up with confidence there, and it looks like he's going to be shooting them all night, 2 in a row there.
Ryan Parker from Bloomington, Indiana, went to Bloomington South as we see the Warren Central product. Bingham getting on the board. Ben Nickerson, also a stout defender, going to see a big role on him, trying to limit Dylan Singleton. Averages 7 points and 3 rebounds per contest as the ball rolls out of bounds. Greyhound possession.
Well, the Greyhounds are playing good man-to-man defense here so far, here early, and a couple of the players subbed in off the bench. Josiah Tynes, Ben Nickerson with the ball right now. They are some of their best defenders. They are wing defenders, and they can guard really anybody. It's been a huge part to why Julian Smith has had a couple off nights when they play Indianapolis.
Here's another triple opportunity rather than to continue to pass the ball around the arc. The Greyhounds are itching to hit these. Here's another one from Etherington, and it's tapped in. Give him to Julian Steinfeld.
Yeah, quick little tap in. Julian Steinfeld, when Kaba Kamara goes to the bench, Steinfeld can take advantage of his size and go inside, get that tip in there, gets first points of the day.
Julian Smith now being guarded by Jesse Bingham, a big reason why he was limited in the first contest. Bingham being the stout defender he is, and now the Greyhounds have numbers. Steinfeld loses it, though. It's a travel. Well, wasting what looked like a good opportunity for the team in white. It will be the Miners' ball. And with that, Bingham gets the break. We'll need to see more from Corey Miller Jr. with those other four players on the floor. We'll see what kind of offensive role Miller Jr. can play guarding Caden Froby right now. Here's another triple from the left wing, and it is nothing but net. And it's Julian Smith on a roll early in this contest.
Yeah, really shooting it with confidence here early. 2 of 2 now from behind the arc, and knocking that one down gives him 9 points. What a start.
Add a couple for the Greyhounds. It's been a back and forth game. Steinfeld again. And how about Steinfeld of late, really coming on, finding himself a starting role in the last few games, coming off the bench today, but playing very well. And being 6'11", I'm sure helps with that cause. Straight away 3, and it's drained. Micah Johnson.
Yeah, good start by the Miners, really. They're staying in it. They're keeping up with you, Indy. It's been their three-point shooting. They are 4 of 5 from behind the arc to get things started off, and that has helped them stay right in there with the Greyhounds just down by 2.
Miller Jr. surveys the floor. He's going to enter the paint. Look at this fadeaway, and it's Corey Miller Jr. just can't get it to fall. Johnson with the rebound. How about the Greyhounds quickly back on defense? You see why they're such a good defensive team, and they force the travel. And with that, we're going to head down to our sideline reporters. Julianne and Emily, what do you have for us?
3-point shots seem to be making.
And for the Greyhounds, they are 3 of 8 from downtown this game.
Yeah, biggest part, as you mentioned, the Miners, 3-point shooting. They only shoot 35% from downtown on 8 makes a game, but they're already halfway there. 4 of 5 starting off in the first 8 minutes and change here early. If they can keep that number up, if they can keep that stretch up, then they have a great chance of knocking off the Greyhounds.
Stepping up from the triple line, he gets a couple points. That's D. Montgomery, and what a savvy play from him. Instead of going for the contested 3, he found a little bit of open space and got the 2-pointer to go in. Here's another triple. My goodness. 3s flying from everywhere. But look at this. It is D. Montgomery kind of clutching his left wrist. We'll see if that's an issue here or not. In traffic. Doesn't matter. Here's the rebound by Bingham, and the whistle blows. The foul is going to go against Ryan Parker. His first and really the third one that the Miners have been charged with. Here's the Greyhounds. From the corner, Miller Jr.'s foul. Well, then he drains it anyway. And one. The hoop in the arm, and it'll give him a 4-point opportunity.
Wow, what a play from Corey Miller there. In the corner, great ball movement, really starting things off. Choa had a mismatch inside. They worked it down to him, and then in the corner, Corey Miller had an open 3, took the contact, and knocked it down.
And how about that? Completes the 4-point play. He has 9 points early in this contest. Ties with Julian Smith for the game lead.
Now what a start for the senior.
More than what he had all of last game against the Miners. He only had 7 points that game. It was senior night. He got his 1,000th point of his career, but already surpassing the total from that game. And you can already tell it's going to be a different game than the two matchups we've seen so far. The last game, the Greyhounds won by 30. That's not going to happen today. Here's another triple from the wide open corner. And the whistle blows.
Yeah, really good hustle there by Froby on the inside, and that's going to go on D. Montgomery, little pushing foul. Froby's one of the best rebounding guards in all of the GLVC. He has hops, and he goes up and gets so many rebounds throughout the game. Looking for him to give the Miners some second chance opportunities tonight. That time he does.
Halfway through half number one, as the long inbounds pass goes halfway down the floor. Look at this defense. The expert hand placement by D. Montgomery. Still a wide open three allowed. And the rebound goes to the Greyhounds. Parker can't connect. You know who can, though? D. Montgomery, but he's too strong there. He's had himself a great game to this point, and whistles blow. A foul called. Our officials today, Chris Hudson, Marcus Goddard, and Brian Washer for round one of the tournament. Sorting through what just happened, Ryan Parker called with his second foul. Team's fifth already, so we're probably going to see some bonus shots from the Greyhounds players. We'll see how that affects later in this half, especially with how the Greyhounds have shot from the free throw line. More on that later, but first, here's the inbounds pass. Miller Jr. with the entry pass. Choa kicks it back out. Here's another triple. This one from Tynes, and it's too strong. Long rebound goes to Dylan Singleton, and another whistle. Really physical these teams are playing. It'll be against Corey Miller.
I mean, yeah, they are playing super physical, and the Greyhounds' hustle has led to a lot of those foul calls, and now to an 8-point lead, the Indianapolis is largest of the day.
To inbound will be Micah Johnson. He's got 3 points today, made one of two from downtown. A new face enters the game. That's Michael Apaya-Brafo. Here's a triple from the big man, and he gets it. How about Julian Smith? Second in the conference in three-pointers made. We've talked about it. He's third in scoring, and he just continues to knock them down. 3 of 4 from downtown.
And we've touched on the three-point shooting, and they are 6 of 10 to start things off. And Julian Smith, the biggest aficionado, the biggest reason for that. But right now, still down by 5, as good of the start as the Miners have had.
Another shot from deep. It's bullseye. Jacoby Robinson. My goodness, we're going to have so many of these threes today, and I'm all here for it. Already 9 made between the two teams. Ball's on the ground. Greyhounds defense prevails, and now they have numbers. Here's Miller Jr. to slam it in. Time after time after time, Corey Miller Jr. exciting the crowd, exciting the team, and sends them to the timeout. Miller Jr. just so physical, so athletic, and he shows it there in the celebration.
Yeah, what a flush by Corey Miller. What a start as well. Up into double figures, the second leading scorer, the team's leading scorer with just 11, and Julian Smith with 12. Couple guys really stepping up big in the GLVC tournament.
Another whistle. And for Miller Jr., he only had 7 points in the last game. Didn't have a lot of success the game before, but here today he's really putting his mark on the Miners, at least early.
Biggest thing for Missouri S&T, they took the punch here early. They have to respond well and get a couple of buckets going forward, cut into this lead, closing out the half.
Johnson with the floater, and it's good. Nice little hook shot for the man in the middle.
Right on cue, Micah Johnson down low. Nice little hook shot, good post up on the inside. Really looking for more of that. I liked Johnson's post up there on the inside. Good footwork, good finish.
Robinson's going to work his way inside on the much smaller Kelly Vaughn, spinning around and laying it in. What a shot from Jacoby Robinson. Now facing a 10-point deficit. We'll see what the Miners can do to try to keep this game close. Big part's going to be on this man, and he drains it. What a shot from Julian Smith, shooting with all the confidence in the world today.
He's already got more than he had in the first two games against Indianapolis of 9 and 10 points. He's got 15 now, and he's knocked down 4 early triples. What a start for the freshman.
Here's Jesse Bingham going to kick it out. Another shot from downtown, but it bricks off. They're going to call a foul. It was Steinfeld trying to go for the rebound. Johnson called his first foul, the team's 6th. So from now on, after the inbound pass here, any common foul is going to result in bonus shots for Indianapolis. Here's Jesse Bingham. Going to drive inside and kick it out. Tynes back to Bingham. Waiting for a three. Here it is from the corner, and it is nothing but net. The switch from Kobe.
Yeah, good little start. Jacoby Robinson really shooting with some confidence here early. 8 early points. Nice 3-ball.
Look at that physicality from Ben Nickerson. The undersized guard goes up and keeps Stroding from having any shot at the rim, but the whistles blow again. Trying to sort things out on the floor. We'll bring in Kendrick Choa and Corey Miller Jr. Tynes and Steinfeld head to the bench. Alongside Nickerson, who'll be replaced by the starting guard, D. Montgomery. And now for the starting 5 on the floor for Indianapolis.
Good minutes in there by some bench players. Etherington, Steinfeld, Tynes, and Nickerson off the bench there, giving Corsaro some good minutes and allows him to rest a couple of his players, give them fresh legs coming back.
Great minutes, allowed them to build their largest lead of the game in 11 points that they currently hold now. S&T fouled here. It's Micah Johnson who picks up his second, team 7th, which now we'll see the bonus shots. And for Indianapolis, you want Corey Miller at the line, shooting 70%. The team in general shooting 65%. That's worst in the conference. Not quite the best free throw shooting team this season have the Greyhounds.
No, and they've missed 178 total free throws so far this year. That's 178 points that's been left on the board or left off the board just from the free throw line. I mean, how crazy of a stat is that? That's the most in the GLVC, and that's good for second worst free throw percentage in the GLVC.
That's 7 points a game that they're just leaving on the table. Able to hit those. Now they continue to build on this lead. It's up to 13 points and maybe more. The Greyhounds have numbers with ease. Jesse Bingham.
Great defense, really, by Indianapolis, getting off and running there. They're just playing the passing lanes, getting quick little pokeaways. When Missouri S&T makes a mistake, Indianapolis is all over, and it's led to a bunch of fast break points. Here
Another
again.
steal. The Greyhounds on defense just smothering the Miners. Here's another wide open shot from downtown. It bricks off. Greyhounds get the rebound, but step out of bounds. A lot going on there. How about the intensity on the floor from both teams? You can tell it's tournament atmosphere.
Oh, for sure. The adrenaline is definitely pumping right now. Getting off in the fast break, UIndy is leading them 9-3, a huge advantage. Also killing them on the boards right now, 12-9, and UIndy getting off to a fast start in all aspects of the game.
Froby exploding to the paint, and he misses a little too strong with the left hand, but the rebound goes to the green and gold. Now another long-range shot. This one bounces around the Greyhounds with the board and Corey Miller Jr. Another wide-open triple and another brick. It's really gone cold these last few shots from each team downtown. We had the super hot start, and now teams have come back to earth.
And right now, I mean, Missouri S&T just isn't matched up. D. Montgomery, the trailer there, just left wide open. That cannot happen if you're head coach Bill Walker.
How about this? It's the Greyhounds and Kendrick Choa who wins the matchup inside. And now the lay-in is too strong. A lot of missed shots suddenly. Here's a one-on-one. Goodness, the foul call, and it is Ryan Parker who lays it in. How about the teamwork? The 3-on-2 as Smith really intelligently waited for his teammates to catch up instead of trying to go up one-on-one on his own.
Yeah, Corey Miller there took it up a little bit too fast. I think it was partially blocked by Parker, and then how about Parker running the floor, gets the finish on the other end, takes the contact, and he's going to the line for an old-fashioned three-point play.
He laid it in plus tax. Here his single free throw shot is. That was the 5th foul called against the Greyhounds. First one that they're going to give to Aaron Etherington. This younger lineup on the floor for Indianapolis. Trying to find some momentum here heading into what's going to be the next media timeout in just a few seconds. Three seconds. It'll be a deep shot, and it bounces and a miss from Miller Jr. Julian Smith working his magic, but it hits the backboard. Hard to go up against the 6'11" man. And now in transition from the corner. Nothing but net, Aaron Etherington.
Bullseye, nice three ball from the corner, and great ball movement again. Leads to that block on defense. Steinfeld getting up and getting that rejection leads to transition offense, and Etherington left open drills the three from the corner.
Inside, here's the big man matchup, and a foul called before the slam, so it doesn't count, but we will see 2 foul shots likely from Kaba Kamara following this timeout. More next on the GLVC Sports Network. Score as the evening progresses, but really huge implications because the loser doesn't get a second chance.
Right, and right now UIndy is absolutely dominating Missouri S&T on both sides of the ball. 15-point lead right now. If they do move on to play Truman State, it'll be a rematch of the first-round game last year where UIndy upset Truman State. It would be another huge game.
Look at this defensive play. It's time to jump out of nowhere, teleported in, got the steal, and now the Greyhounds have a chance on offense. And look at that. Josiah Tynes gets the steal and drops the tray.
Yeah, he's one of their best 3-and-D players, one of their best communicators as well. And in the locker room, he's always talking about how he needs to get out in transition, knock down those 3 balls. He's a 3-and-D player. Great role player that Corsaro has in his lineup.
Another shot from long range. The putback missed. Rebound goes to Julian Steinfeld. Miller Jr. gets it stolen away. Now the Miners, 2-on-2. Froby loses it, and a blocking foul. Let it go against Miller Jr. And that will lead to some bonus shots. We'll see how Caden Froby does shooting. Sub 50% on the season from the line, so he's obviously not one of the team's better shooters from the charity stripe, but he does average 11 points a game. High school teammates with Dylan Singleton, who you can see number 1 towards the top of the screen. They both went to Lincoln High School in Illinois.
Yeah, I think they're both very important factors to what the Miners are trying to do here, closing out the half. They're down by what is 17 right now, could be 16 here in a moment with another made free throw. But if they can cut this under 13, if they can get it to about 10, 12 points, I think they're in good shape moving into the second half.
The second of 2 is missed. So Froby splits the pair, but shoots from another area code and drains it. My goodness. How about that? Rather than your 2 free throw shots, he misses a second and pulls up from way downtown.
Yeah, big shot there by Froby. Very clutch shot, able to knock that one down and cut it down to 14. Big part of cutting into this lead are knocking down your open shots.
And he has played very well against the Greyhounds, averaging 7 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, and 2 steals against the Greyhounds in the 2 contests. A big stat line there. He's just found success against this defense. Something not a lot of Miners can say they've been able to do this season or really of the last few years.
Oh, you're right, and it opens up with them with UIndy really trying to guard Julian Smith, it opens the door for other people to step up, like Froby.
Montgomery passes to Tynes, who misses his second in a row from deep. And now the Greyhounds, they have the luxury of trying to find these three-point shots, but you got to imagine if the well starts to go dry, drive it inside.
More good defense. Tynes just hands in the passing lane there.
This time it's Bingham against Smith. A lot of contact, leaves an open Froby, and Froby bangs it out. It's a miss.
That one would have been huge if they could have cut that down to 11 with that three ball there. Froby's kicking himself after that miss.
Choa already with his sixth rebound, just 11 minutes. A third of the way through the shot clock. Now on the other end, it's Singleton with a wide open lay-in. Dylan Singleton with his first made bucket of the day. And with that, the Greyhounds will take a timeout. We will step aside as well. The final 47 seconds next on the GLV Sports Network. Well, the Greyhounds have the lead here in the friendly confines of Nickerson Hall, but the Lady Greyhounds, the UIndy women's team playing Southwest Baptist in Bolivar, Missouri right now. They're tied late in the third quarter, the 8 and 9 seed. The Greyhounds being that 9 seed, currently battling it out for a chance to play at 11 o'clock on Thursday afternoon.
Yeah, really big game there as well, and UIndy's women's team trying to make another run deep into the GLVC tournament with tonight.
Here's D from deep, but he cannot get it to fall. Add another miss to the tally for Indianapolis. Still a great day shooting from behind the arc, though. 8 of 22. It's good for 36%, right at their season average. I think what's even more impressive is that the Miners, 6 of 13, that's 46% from downtown. Well above their average of 35%. About 5 seconds separate the two clocks, and we see Dylan Singleton trying to hold the ball for as long as he can. Going to be a forced shot here. Driving inside to Singleton. He tries to kick it out. No chance there. The Greyhounds will have 5 seconds to work with. And the question is, do they try to go and add some more points to the board, or do they just run the rest of the clock out?
Yeah, not the play you're looking for there if you're Singleton. Just drove around and never really got a shot clock off, or never got a shot off. With 5 seconds left, he just started to drive inside, spun around, did a little dance with it, and then instead of putting up a shot, knew it was going to get blocked, so he fires it back out and leads to a shot clock violation.
Starters back on the floor for the Greyhounds. Just a few seconds to go in the half. Coast to coast. He's going to kick it out from deep. Buzzer beater, and he hits it. Montgomery stands up Nickerson Hall to extend the lead, 48-33. Let's go down to our sideline reporters, Julian Grohowski and Emily Arnold.
Lead is the +7 in the turnover category. Indianapolis is taking advantage of points in transition.
The Greyhounds are 12-1 when they lead at the half, as they are today, ready to start half number 2. They'll have the ball to start this second period, and it is another three from Montgomery. Hit one into the break and coming out of the break.
Yeah, that's 6 points in about 15 seconds for D. Montgomery going back to the first half, and he's just playing absolutely phenomenal right now. Bunch of buckets from the senior.
Speaking of buckets, here's one from deep, but it is a miss from Caden Froby. And how about the Greyhounds? They already have 10 made triples today. 42% from downtown. They can do more than just shoot threes, though, as we see the contact inside. It was Choa trying his best to make one fall in from the right side.
Beautiful pass there by D. Montgomery as well, averaging just about 3.5 assists a game, almost 4, having a great year. as a ball distributor. We've talked so much about Corey Miller. We haven't really had time to touch on D. Montgomery. This is his final game at Nickerson Hall as well. And he's answered the bell.
As we see Kendrick Choa make the first of his 2 at the line. And yeah, for Montgomery, was a transfer in from Purdue Fort Wayne, also where Coach Corsaro coached for a couple years before coming to UND a couple years ago. But for Montgomery, one of the 2 seniors on this team, and really a big reason why they're at where they are today in this season. So far this year, averaging just under double figures scoring-wise. One of the main ball distributors for Indianapolis. We see a foul as Stroding tried to go up to the cup. That'll be Jacoby Robinson with his 2nd foul, team's first. And we'll see Alex Stroding at the line for 2 free throws. He's top 15 in the conference in this category with 80% from the charity stripe, and he drains the first. Starting the transfer from the University of Colorado, was a Buffalo for 4 seasons before transferring this year. And now we see Jacoby Robinson come up and prevent the crisis. Look at that, almost steal, but then the wide open 2, and it is an easy floater for D. Montgomery.
Oh, what a nifty move, D. Montgomery again.
That was beautiful.
Just lost it, stole it back there from Froby, and then spins and knocks it down from the baseline. What a tough shot there from Montgomery. Now the game's leading scorer with 16.
The 2 seniors going off in the last game that they'll play in front of this home crowd, the biggest crowd that the Greyhounds have seen all season here at Nickerson Hall.
Yeah, and they are definitely, as you mentioned, putting on a show for this crowd. Love to see all the students in here rooting on their Indianapolis Greyhounds here in the tournament.
Continuing to build on the largest lead of the game. It's 20 points for Indianapolis. Trying to keep this one close. Julian Smith and the Miners. Smith having his best game against the Greyhounds in their 3 matchups, that is. But still nothing going for the rest of the roster. Just 4 to shoot. It's going to take a quick shot here, and it looks like Mohamedou Kaba Kamara didn't realize that the shot clock was as low as it was. Greyhounds get the ball.
Yeah, just not a lot of communication on offense as the time's running down. Somebody needs to be yelling at Kaba Kamara to either put up a shot or pass it right away because they're running low. Only 3 seconds on the shot clock there and not able to get one off. Another shot clock violation.
Montgomery and his team have a 9-1 run here of the last 2.5 minutes. Here to try to extend it is Robinson, but he can't. A rebound goes to Froby, doing that a lot this season, averaging 7 a game. So far today with his 3rd rebound. And here he'll pull up from the foul line, and it is an air ball. A lot of contact.
I think that one was blocked by Bingham, partially blocked. He got his arm up and barely tipped that one, but it affected the shot and fell short.
Bingham, one of the top shot blockers of the GLVC. Here's we see Jesse doing more than just blocking shots. What a play from the redshirt freshman.
Again, doing it on defense and offense. Gets the block on one end in transition. Takes it from the corner. Goes all the way from the baseline. Far left corner. All the way to the bucket in the throwdown.
Singleton from the left wing, and he's too short, but he gets his own rebound. Puts it up, and another miss. Out of bounds, Greyhounds ball.
What great defense, really, by Indianapolis. Choa, one of the biggest ones there, goes up strong there. Froby goes towards the basket, and Choa goes up strong, straight up, and allows the official to swallow his whistle there. No foul called. Great defense by Indianapolis.
The story of the game, great defense by Indianapolis. The story of the season to this point. Big reason why they are at where they are at this point in the year. The #1 defense in the conference. Here's another triple. Montgomery, and it just barely rattles out.
And it's because they only allow 65 points a game. And so far to Missouri S&T so far this year against Indianapolis. They've scored 50 and 61 points. That's good for 55.5 points on average against Indianapolis this year.
Look at that stuff. It's got the crowd on their feet. Jacoby Robinson, and now on the other end, Bingham trying to make a fool of these defenders. It's a slam from Steinfeld.
What a finish by Steinfeld. On one end, Jacoby Robinson just swats the ball out of his hand, and then in transition, another throwdown in Indianapolis. Their largest lead just keeps getting larger.
The Greyhounds call the timeout. We'll step aside with them. Right, the Bearcats up 62-61 over the Greyhounds as we see the men's Greyhounds team and Julian Steinfeld with a nice slam there off the feed from his teammate. And how about Julian Steinfeld, especially of late, coming over from Frankfurt, Germany, played last year but limited minutes. This year he's really coming to his own, especially the last couple weeks.
Yeah, he's had a great year and now starting to score it on offense, play great defense. He's gave Corsaro another guy to throw in that starting lineup a couple games and great minutes off the bench in the center position.
Just a few seconds to shoot, but it's stolen away by Miller Jr. Does that so well in his career, and now he's going to wing it out to Josiah Tynes. Tynes trying to find some space. Now with just 10 to shoot. Rising up and dropping it in. How about that shot? And the fadeaway from Corey Miller. On the other end, it's a triple, and it rattles in. It's good. Dylan Singleton.
Yeah, and Singleton gets just his second bucket of the day, but knocks that three ball down, cuts it down to 23. If you're Missouri S&T, your biggest thing right now is not wasting any possessions. Got to get at least one shot up, if not several, on every single possession and hope for the best, but you just got to knock them down.
Tynes from downtown, and he is off the mark. A foul called as Steinfeld was held up trying to go after the rebound. Looks like it'll be against Ryan Parker. That'll be his third. $20 points from the painted area, where Missouri S&T with just 8. That's been a big difference today. The Greyhounds have just found their way inside and out.
Yeah, they've been able to get touches on the inside, and they've also been able to force turnovers. 13 turnovers is good for 21 points off turnovers for Indianapolis. What a game.
Steinfeld with a hook shot, and he gets 2. UND's women's team just finished their final game of the season as they fall to Southwest Baptist 64-61 in Bolivar, Missouri. That score final. So Southwest Baptist will advance in the GLVC tournament, and the women's team will travel back here to Indianapolis for the final time this season. Here's a blocking foul against Tynes. Julian Smith was working on him. Good play on offense. We'll see Kelly Vaughn to inbound the ball for the Miners. The 5'11 guard from Mount Vernon, Missouri. And he wings it in, but it's stolen away by Corey Miller Jr. Now on the other end, 3-on-1 with no issues. The lay-in from Tynes. How about Corey Miller Jr. with 2 steals? That puts him just 4 away from being the 8th Greyhound with 1,000 points, 200 assists, and 100 steals. He has been on fire taking the ball away of late as we see the lay-in on the other end. Pretty good by Alex Strauding. Had 15 points in the first game against the Greyhounds, just 3 in the second, so they really found a way to limit him at Nickerson Hall. Today has just 5. And we talked about how the Greyhounds fell on the women's side of things. Missouri S&T also falls to UIS. 60-52 is that final score. A couple close games in round 1 at the GLVC tournament, and it's S&T not able to get things done on the road for the women's side of things.
Yeah, a bunch of close games, and really just everybody trying to make a final push. Doesn't really matter what spot you're at in the GLVC conference, because everybody gets a chance this year, and everybody is making the most of it.
Here's Parker with a fadeaway. What a shot from him. Ryan Parker looking pretty good. He had 5 points on average and 9 rebounds. Really impressive against the Greyhounds this season in the 2 games. And how about the slam? Dropping the hammer. Kendrick Choa.
Again, what a throwdown. Choa, the aficionado there, gets the pass, the benefit inside, and the throwdown. What a finish.
Trying to tap it in was Parker, but he is unsuccessful. Nickerson with the rebound. And now a lot of white jerseys on the other end of the floor. Here's the step back triple. No good, but the putback is. Add 2 more to the resume of Kendrick Choa. He has 7 points and 7 rebounds.
Yeah, almost a double-double for Choa. What a year he's having, really developing with his interior play. And again, couple of finishes there, 4 points on the last 2 possessions.
Tynes' second foul. Greyhounds' third. That'll give the Miners possession here. Montgomery and Miller Jr. enter the game for Indianapolis. Here's the green and gold driving inside with a floater. It's a miss, and a rebound goes to the Greyhounds. No, but stolen away, stepping out of bounds. Greyhounds ball. A lot happened there, but ultimately Indianapolis will have the ball. Caden Froby with his best efforts.
Yeah, that's what he does best, and really the Miners need more of it if they want to cut back into this lead. Now up to 27, Indianapolis' largest of the day. Miners just trying to stop the bleeding right now.
And we talked about the impact so far this season, especially against the Greyhounds, that Caden Froby has had, not scoring-wise as much, but 6 rebounds, 5 assists, and 2 steals on average in the 2 games against the Greyhounds, as we see a bullseye from the right wing from Aaron Etherington. Singleton kicks things out. Here's Michael Apaya-Brafo going up on Choa, but a foul called. And again, more on Froby here. Already this game has 3 rebounds, 4 assists, and a steal. Only 4 points, but his impact off not just the scoring column, but everything else that he does is so important to the Miners.
Yeah, he's one of the best role players, and as you mentioned, off the ball, he's one of the best players out there on both sides. He can affect so much on the court without his scoring.
Guess what? He can hit a 3 or 2. This time it's a little too short, though, as he goes to the ground. Great effort trying to get the rebound. It'll ultimately go to Corey Miller Jr., having himself one heck of a day. Montgomery from downtown, and he drains another one. 5 of 9 from beyond the arc.
What a showing by D. Montgomery here tonight. 5 of 9 from behind the arc and just absolutely killing them right now.
Froby misses, but the rebound goes to Apaya-Brafo. Here's Johnson, little hook shot, loses his footing. Greyhounds get the rebound. Miller Jr. skies it up, and it's blocked away, but a whistle blown. The foul will go. Back here at Nickerson Halls, Corey Miller Jr. attempts a couple of free throw shots. Picking up the foul was Dylan Singleton. How about the Greyhounds, though? Shooting an absurd 56% from the field, 40% from 3. That's off 12 makes. That is a very impressive number. And they've just really been able to pull it from anywhere and make just about every shot that they've taken.
I mean, yeah, right now the seniors are the biggest part of that. Corey Miller, D. Montgomery, they are 7 of 13 from downtown themselves. That's good for about 56% on the day. And what a game that they're both having.
For Missouri S&T, when they have a better field goal percentage than their opponent, they are 11-3. All 11 of their wins have come in that instance. But when they are outshot, winless. 0-13. That's been a big factor today. They just haven't been able to get as many shots to fall. Here's an opportunity from the left wing, and it bounces. It's a miss. Really gone quiet of late is Julian Smith. Had a hot start. Nothing since then. Jacoby Robinson with the feed off the assist from D. Montgomery.
Yeah, and Jesse Bingham has really picked up the slack on defense, picking up Julian Smith after that great first half. 14 points. He's been held scoreless here in the second half.
Froby with the putback. It'll be an and one. We'll see how he does at the line. D. Montgomery picks up his second foul, team's 5th. And how about that effort from Caden Froby. Went up, skied up for the offensive rebound, stuck it back in, and took the contact. We'll see how he does at the line. He's had 2 double-doubles in the last 3 games, has been on fire of late, but he misses what would have been a 3-point play. Froby has 6 points, 4 rebounds, and 4 assists. Losing the ball are the Greyhounds with Jacoby Robinson. Miller Jr. kicks it out, straight away 3, and it's a miss. The rebound goes out of bounds. No, it'll be inbounds for the Miners. A nice teamwork play there from Froby. He'll have an opportunity with the ball in his hands. A foul called to go against Montgomery. He picks up a couple quick ones. That's his 3rd foul. Team's 6th.
Now, right now, Froby has been that second guy. He stepped up when Julian Smith hasn't been able to get himself going here in the second half. Froby stepped up, and he's done quite a bit here in the second half off the ball. Only 6 total points for Froby, but really nobody else has really stepped up on the Miners side of things and helped out what Julian Smith brings to the table.
Singleton downtown, no sir. A rebound by Kendrick Choa. He's had himself one heck of a day rebounding, 11 total. One of the top rebounders in the conference. There, though, the ball's stolen away. Nice play by Alex Strauding. Smith working in traffic, loses the ball, but Strauding saves the day. He's going to work inside. Alexander Strauding with the hook shot. It's a miss. A rebound by the Hounds and Kobe Robinson. Bingham, so explosive here, is just going to kick things out. Now we see the offense going a little bit more conservative for Indianapolis. Here's another triple. Bingham misses again. Not been quite his day. Jesse Bingham has 6 points today. 5 assists, though. He's been a great team player and great on defense. Here's Nickerson with the lay-in. He can't. Putback missed as well, but an offensive board and a foul. Kendrick Choa to the line. Alex Strauding with the foul. Choa split the pair on his last trip to the free throw line, shooting just above 50% on the year. Here he's got 2 shots.
Yeah, it really speaks volumes to what he's done in the offseason. He's developed so much going into this year from the free throw line, but also interior work. His footwork's gotten much better compared to last year. I think that's a testimony to what Roosevelt Jones and head coach Paul Corsaro has done with him in the offseason. They've worked a lot with his interior play as he misses that first free throw, but he's gotten in the gym and he understands that he needs to get better at some areas, and he likes to put work in and improve in those areas.
We have seen 2 points from the Miners in the last 5 minutes. 13 for Indianapolis. Really been a big factor of late why the Greyhounds have been able to really pour onto this lead. There, though, missing both of the free throws was Kendrick Choa. Smith drives and lays it in. What a shot as he picks up the contact as well.
Yeah, nifty little finish there from Julian Smith. His first bucket of the second half. He's now got 16 points. What a finish there, scoop layup.
Foul called off the ball. It was towards the paint. The altercation between Choa and Strauding. Looks like Strauding will pick up the foul. His 4th now, so we're going to have to see him exit the game. A starter, double figures, averaging scoring on the season. And, of course, I talked about he had 15 points in the first matchup against Indianapolis back in Rolla, Missouri. But there he'll have to sit for an extended period of time with those 4 fouls. Miller Jr. downtown. Missed shot. Valentine's in his first action today, but can't get the rebound. Ryan Parker with the board. Smith on the inside, kicks it out. Singleton from 3, and he drains it. How about Dylan Singleton? He's got 8 points today. Has hit 2 of those from beyond the arc. Robinson off the mark, but the rebound coming out of nowhere and losing the ball. He was fouled. Miller Jr. What a play by the senior. He will not give up, no matter the score. How about that? Corey Miller Jr., more on him next on the GLB.
Everywhere else, too. 4 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 steals, and he is having just an outstanding game. With those 6 assists, he actually moves into, he's got 1,000 points, 200 assists, and now 100 steals in his UND career. What a guy.
Yeah, pretty impressive. Just the 8th Greyhound to build up those accolades. And that was after 2 years at JUCO. He played for John Wood Community College. So he's not been the full tenured Hound and still putting up these numbers. Very impressive. We had a chance to talk to him earlier this afternoon, Graham, and he made sure to deflect all his success onto his teammates, onto his coaches. He even talked about Coach Stan Gerard a little bit. He is not one to just stand in the spotlight and take all the love. What a player and what a team guy for Indianapolis.
Yeah, I mean, head coach Paul Corsaro has to love what Corey Miller has brought to this UND Greyhounds team. Corsaro coming in just 2 years ago, or just 1 year ago, really, in his second season now. Corsaro has loved everything that Corey Miller, D. Montgomery as well, just to name a couple, have brought to this Indianapolis team, and he's loved coaching here for UND.
Tynes on the drive, hoop in the harm. He's fouled after making the layup. Piling on the scoreboard. How about this? 79 points already, and there's still over 7 minutes to go. The Hounds could hit 100 today, the way that they have been shooting and the way they've been scoring at will. Over half their shots have been successful. Here's Tynes to complete the three-point play potentially. He does not. Rebound goes to Ryan Parker. That's Parker with his 7th board of the game, averaging 9 in the 2 games in this matchup this season. Kaba Kamara with the long hook, and it's a miss. Skying up to get the rebound was D. Montgomery. Climbing the ladder is the 6-foot guard. He's from Horn Lake, Missouri. Again, the transfer from Purdue Fort Wayne. Straightaway 3 off the mark. Etherington can't make it. False Smith with the rebound, and he's going to try to go coast to coast. Smith with a pass. Look at that. The slam in from Kaba Kamara. How about the assist from Julian Smith?
Yeah, what a feed by Julian Smith. What a pass inside. Little no-look dime when he was falling out of bounds. Great find and a flush two-handed throwdown with authority by Kaba Kamara.
His 4th assist of the game as the mid-range shot unsuccessful from Bingham. Rebound goes to Kaba Kamara. Straight away. Triple. No problem there as Julian Smith gets the 3 to fall.
And now he ties for the leading scorer of the day with D. Montgomery. They've both got 19 apiece. It's just that nobody else really for Missouri S&T has stepped up scoring in double figures tonight.
Julian Smith has seemed to exercise those demons that the Greyhounds have presented him the first 2 games as the 3 ball goes too strong for Etherington. He had 19 points total over the first 2 games. Those are his 2 lowest scoring totals of the season. Now today, scoring at will. The game lead at 19, like you mentioned. Foul called on Etherington. Froby to the line.
And right now, looks a lot like UND's going to come away with the win, still up 28 with under 6 minutes to play. But
back here at Nickerson Hall, and you were talking a little bit going into that break about Truman State. They're playing Rockhurst. That game's set to start in about 5 minutes, of course, with Central Time. They start an hour later than the Greyhounds do on Eastern Time. And you would like to imagine that one of the best teams in the conference in Truman State, the number 3 overall seed in the tournament, would advance, at least be the favorites. However, Rockhurst just beat them in their last game, so we'll see how that dynamic goes. We'll try to give you updates as that game progresses. But the thing with Truman State, it's a team that the Greyhounds defeated last year, 62-61. They were the number 2 overall team in the country at that time, the number 1 seed in the tournament, and the Greyhounds found a way to beat them. So they definitely have to have some confidence moving into round number 2 of the GLVC tournament on Thursday night.
And UND's for sure going to keep a close eye on that game and see who's going to come away, who's going to be their opponent for the next game. And as you said, most likely they're going to expect to play Truman State. We'll see how that game turns out. But for right now, UND has to knock down their free throws and get off to a fast start to have any chance against Truman State.
We're going to see some free throws right now as Kendrick Choa, who is 1 of 4 from the charity stripe, he'll be sent to the line. Being called with his first foul was Michael Apaya Brayfro. the 6'5" freshman forward from Jefferson City, Missouri. Played 20 minutes in the last contest here at Nickerson Hall against the Greyhounds just a couple weeks ago. Choa makes the first. And Apaya Brayfro had 2 points and 4 rebounds against the Greyhounds in those 20 minutes. Really found a way to limit his effectiveness. Here's Choa, his second. He splits the pair. The rebound goes to Kevin Lagarde. Surprised we haven't seen as much of Lagarde. I'll tell you why here in just a second as he has the ball now. Saheem Anthony working on Corey Miller Jr. Some new faces into the game for the Miners. Here's a three, and Lagarde just off the mark. It was a deep shot, but the rebound goes to Stroding. Another triple off the mark, and the putback is in by Alexander Stroding. How about Lagarde, though? He's top 4 in the conference and steals, top 10 in rebounds. Just haven't seen the minutes these last 2 games that he was used to early in the season. D. Montgomery floating behind the arc. Going to kick it inside. Out of bounds goes the pass. It's Miners' ball.
Yeah, I think another one of the biggest parts for Indianapolis moving into the following round of the GLVC tournament is turnovers. They've had games this season where they've had less than 5 turnovers, a couple games, and right now just 7 turnovers on the day, but silly ones at that.
The fast break off the turnover, the steal, the lay-in. Josiah Tynes doing it all.
Yeah, nice flush there by Josiah Tynes. Playing Truman State, though, or Rockhurst, they're not going to have silly turnovers like Missouri S&T's having right now. They've got 14 now on the day, and UIndy, a testimony to their defense, but they've really made the most of what Missouri S&T has shown them on offense.
Stroding contorts his body but misses the shot on the drive. Here's D. Montgomery slowing things down. 3.5 minutes to go. Trying to punch their ticket to Edwardsville, Illinois. From way downtown, bounces and a miss. Montgomery just playing around at this point. He's 5 of 10 from beyond the arc. Stroding comes in hard, kicks it back out. Apaya Brayfro from downtown, but he misses. Too short. Let's try this again. Slowing things down will be Montgomery, who's going to take the timeout, bring in 3 more Hounds. After this on the GLVC Sports Network.
We see the smiles.
Tynes laying things in here towards the end of the game, inside of 3 minutes to go in the contest.
Yeah, just a quick little steal from Josiah Tynes, and they get out and run so well. Points in transition have been a huge part. 25 of them now for UIndy. They've got out and running.
Josiah Tynes setting up the screen. He's met with a lot of contact, finds himself wide open, and he drains it. Seemed like Alex Stroding kind of gave up, trying to avoid the contact and what would have ejected him from the game, having 4 fouls already. A smart move, but it led to that wide open 3 from downtown. Here's another one from Anthony. Cannot connect. Five bench players on the floor for Indianapolis. 4 for the Miners. Here's a deep one from Ballantyne. He cannot connect. Saheem Anthony with the rebound. He'll go the other way. Anthony with a deep 2, and he is off the mark. A rebound goes to Ballantyne.
Yeah, I think important for head coach Corsaro to really get his rotations down, Pat, as they move into the second round of the tournament. They're going to go probably 9 deep. I like how he played it tonight with Steinfeld coming off the bench, Etherington, Tynes, and Nickerson along with his 5 starters. They played well with those 9 players going 9 deep. They were able to keep their fresh legs and they were able to really get out and run and break open the game there at the end of the second half, or at the end of the first half, excuse me.
Lagarde steal. Anthony with the lay-in attempt. He's fouled, sent him to the line, and called the third foul against Aaron Etherington. Team's 8th. Anthony, his first of 2, and bounces off a little too strong. He's only shot 3 free throws this season. This would be his 4th. He hit those initial 3. Hits the second. How about the Greyhounds with the wire-to-wire lead? They've held the lead for 95% of the game. They have not allowed the Miners to have that advantage a single time this game. Really just start to finish domination. It started from that three-pointer drained at the very beginning by Corey Miller and really set the tone for how the game would go, especially for Miller Jr., who had 18 points and 6 assists, 4 rebounds as well. Etherington from downtown, a little too strong, a little too playful. They say it's hard to beat a team 3 times in a season. That's what the Greyhounds have been able to do. They advanced to 14 straight wins over the green and gold. 16-2 all time in the series.
Yeah, great first round of the tournament by Indianapolis. They were really able to get everything going on offense and defense tonight. One of their best performances of the year, and looking for them to continue that going into the next round.
On February 17th, just a couple weeks ago, the Greyhounds won by 30. 80-50 was that score here at Nickerson Hall. Almost an identical finish here. The final 20 seconds going to come off the clock in the waning seconds, but they won at least up by 30 as we speak. Anthony tries to change that, hits it, and makes it 27 off the bullseye from way downtown, all the way at the Ray Skillman logo in front of the coach. But regardless, this game has finished, and the Greyhounds advance to the next round of the GLVC tournament. They're going to play either number 3 seeded Truman State or number 14 seeded Rockhurst. Friday night, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 8:30 Central Time in Edwardsville, Illinois. Stick around because we have an interview with Coach Corsaro here in just a few moments. But Graham, the biggest reason why the Greyhounds